Unfortunately, here we are again, a little bit more than a year after the Locust Avenue murders. We have another shootout in the downtown neighborhoods of Clarksburg. These gentlemen and the Clarksburg PD are to be saluted. They have plenty of facts in this case, some of which I'll be able to tell you now, some of which I won't be able to tell you now because there's further investigation that needs to be had. There's going to be further charges filed against several different people that we anticipate, and they've done a fine job. They have basically solved this crime less than 12 hours after it occurred. Everything I'm going to say, I'm going to go ahead and preface it now by allegedly, alleged, accused, investigation reveals, and all that sort of thing. Because everything that I'm going to tell you is basically comes from the officers' investigations. Patrol Division worked on this case. Chief Hilliard was up and out of bed working on the case. Detective Division worked on the case. Everybody got involved. Everybody's done a fine job. Basically what we have at this time is that shortly after midnight at the corner of North Park Avenue and Jackson Street, there was a shootout between Donald Jordan, age 25, of Columbus, Ohio, and his uncle, Willie Dukes Jr., 47, originally of Columbus, Ohio, but now residing at a residence at the corner of North Park and Jackson Street, and Mr. Dukes' daughter, Darrell Dukes, age 27. Mr. Dukes and his daughter, Darrell Dukes, were both shot several times with a .45 caliber automatic by Mr. Jordan. The gun was possessed by him. Many witness statements indicate that Mr. Jordan precipitated the shooting at the time it occurred. Witnesses indicate that in the earlier evening hours there was some partying going on in the yard of Mr. Dukes' home. Witness statements indicate that Mr. Jordan had been a short-time resident of the home. He had matriculated here from Columbus, Ohio. Allegations are that he came here to deal drugs. And the allegations are that Mr. Dukes no longer wanted him in his home. He wasn't welcome there anymore. Last night in the early evening hours, as I said, there was some partying going on. Mr. Jordan left the area, walked down Jackson Avenue, circled back around, got into the Jeep belonging to another resident on Jackson Street, put the seat back as he sat in the driver's side, and stayed there. Investigation reveals then that Mr. Dukes and his daughter Darrell Dukes obtained a .357 Magnum pistol out of their home, went to look for Mr. Jordan, happened upon the car, at which time Mr. Jordan opened fire on those two individuals. I believe, again, as I said, Mr. Dukes and his daughter Darrell Dukes were both hit several times. Officers are telling me that they're both in Ruby, but they're in good condition, miraculously so. We have Patrol Division shortly before 1 a.m. encountered Mr. Jordan on South Park Avenue, which is across Pike Street, standing there. He had ditched his firearm in a trash can at DC's barbershop. When he was taken into custody, he had approximately $4,000 in cash on his person, divided up in what are known in the drug trade as stacks, $1,000 stacks. He had some loose money in another pocket. He had some Xanax pills, some crack cocaine, and another pill that's yet to be identified. Now, it would appear right now that Mr. Jordan may be a convicted felon. We're still researching that. When you get the early reports in of somebody's criminal record, they're oftentimes very difficult to discern, and you have to do some more investigation into those to find out exactly what these individuals are convicted of. Suffice it to say, though, that Mr. Dukes is also a convicted felon who returned fire on Mr. Jordan, witnesses say. So he is an individual who is also prohibited from possessing a firearm. That's what we have right now. Again, this police agency has done a wonderful job. It's getting a little bit unnerving being in law enforcement and putting up with big city problems in a small town. In my opinion, we have a deep, deep thirst for drugs in Harrison County as a populace. And as long as we have that deep, deep thirst and that wanting for drugs, the dealers are going to come from all over the country. People who sell sunglasses don't set up shop in a cave. They set up shop on a sunny beach, and in Harrison County it shines 24/365. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. And we all need to pull together to try to fight this. Law enforcement can wage the war on drugs all day long, as we've been doing since 1973. If we only fight it from the supply side, we're never going to win it. We have to fight it from the demand side. Citizens need to rise up and tell their political leaders that they don't want early 1990s New York City and Harrison County anymore. It has to be done, or else more innocent people are going to get killed, as what happened on Locust Avenue last year. I'll give you Chief Hilliard. By the way, also, Chief Hilliard, again, doing a phenomenal job. 10 officers understaffed. We need to, as a citizenry, understand that we need to pay these police officers what they're worth. They're doing big city work in a small town. They're tired, they're understaffed. They can't compete with jobs paying $60,000 a year driving a water truck and not getting shot at. This is something we need to take up as citizens in Harrison County.